What if I told you that one simple tablespoon a day could help melt dangerous belly fat, flatten your stomach, boost your metabolism, and protect your organs at the same time? Sounds too easy, right? But the truth is, visceral fat is not like regular fat. It's the hidden fat that wraps around your liver, heart, and intestines. It silently increases your risk of diabetes, heart disease, fatty liver, hormonal imbalance, and stubborn belly bulge that just won't go away no matter how little you eat. Most people attack belly fat with extreme diets, long workouts, and expensive supplements. But they ignore the real problem: inflammation, insulin resistance, and slow fat-burning hormones. That's why the stomach stays bloated and soft even when the scale goes down. Now imagine activating your body's natural fat-burning switch with just 1 tablespoon of a powerful natural ingredient every day. Not a drug, not a chemical, just something that works with your metabolism, improves digestion, controls cravings, and targets visceral fat from the inside out. This isn't about starving, it's about smart nutrition. It's about choosing one tiny habit that creates a massive ripple effect: better digestion, flatter belly, balanced blood sugar, stronger metabolism, and visible fat loss where it matters most. And the best part, it fits into any routine, morning or night, young or old, busy or relaxed lifestyle. 1 spoon, once a day, consistently. If your goal is not just to lose weight, but to lose the dangerous fat, the kind that threatens your health and steals your confidence, then stay with me till the end, because this could change the way you look and feel forever. For more science-backed health secrets, subscribe to Care and Cure Corner and take charge of your wellness today. Visceral fat is the most dangerous kind of fat because it doesn't sit on the surface where you can see or pinch it. It hides deep inside your abdomen, wrapping itself around your liver, pancreas, intestines, and even your heart like a silent parasite. This is the fat that disrupts your hormones, spikes your blood sugar, and keeps your body locked in fat storage mode no matter how little you eat or how hard you exercise. That stubborn belly that feels hard, swollen, or constantly bloated is often not just excess calories, it's inflammation and toxic fat activity happening internally. Visceral fat releases inflammatory chemicals that increase cortisol, the stress hormone, and when cortisol stays high, your body clings to fat even tighter, especially around the stomach. That is why many people lose weight from their face, arms, or legs, but the belly refuses to shrink. It's also why belly fat is linked to diabetes, heart disease, fatty liver, high blood pressure, and even early aging. What makes it more frightening is that even thin people can have high visceral fat, so the scale alone is not a true measure of health. Your waistline is your warning sign. The larger and firmer your belly feels, the more likely your organs are under stress. This fat also interferes with insulin, meaning your body struggles to use sugar properly, turning every extra bite into stored fat. Over time, digestion slows, energy drops, cravings increase, and your stomach becomes a storage unit instead of a fat-burning zone. The worst part is that most traditional diets only target surface fat and ignore this deep internal danger, which is why results are slow, temporary, and frustrating. Your body doesn't need starvation, it needs a metabolic signal that tells it to stop storing and start releasing. And here comes a light warning most people ignore. If visceral fat is not addressed early, it becomes harder to remove with age, and the health risks multiply silently. But the good news is, this fat is highly responsive to the right nutritional trigger. When you activate the correct metabolic switch, visceral fat begins to melt faster than regular fat because it is metabolically active. The secret is not in doing more, but in doing one thing consistently and correctly. That's why the next part is so powerful, because the amount you use matters just as much as what you use. Too little does nothing. Too much can burden digestion. There is a precise balance that tells your body it's time to burn, and that balance begins with something as simple, as small, and as underestimated as a single tablespoon each day. A single tablespoon may sound too small to create a real change, but in nutrition, precision is power. Your body responds better to consistent signals than extreme actions, and this measured amount acts like a daily instruction to your metabolism. It is enough to activate fat-burning pathways without overwhelming your digestive system or stressing your liver. When you give your body the right dose regularly, it begins to trust the pattern, and trust creates transformation. Think of it like turning a key in an engine. You don't need force, you just need accuracy. 1 tablespoon becomes a metabolic trigger that gently nudges your hormones, insulin response, and inflammation levels in the right direction. Too many people fail because they think more is better, but with fat loss, especially visceral fat loss, more often becomes harmful. Excess quantities can slow digestion, cause discomfort, and even push your body back into storage mode. This is why that small spoon holds such surprising authority. What makes this dose so effective is its ability to be absorbed and utilized efficiently. Your body can process it quickly, sending nutrients directly into cellular repair and fat metabolism instead of storing it. When taken daily, it stabilizes blood sugar, reduces hunger spikes, and controls emotional cravings that usually sabotage fat loss efforts. Over time, your appetite becomes calmer, your energy becomes steadier, and your belly stops receiving emergency signals to store fat for survival. The stomach is high sensitive to hormonal messages, and that 1 tablespoon delivers a message of safety and balance. Safety tells your body it can release fat. Stress tells it to hold fat. This spoon quietly shifts you from stress mode to burn mode. But here comes a gentle warning that most people overlook. Consistency matters more than intensity. Skipping days, changing quantities, or taking random amounts weakens the metabolic response. Your body thrives on routine. When you break the rhythm, you confuse the system and progress slows. Another mistake is mixing this tablespoon with junk food habits and expecting miracles. This is a supportive tool, not a magic shield. If sugar, refined oils, and processed foods remain dominant, the spoon has to fight uphill battle. It still works, but its power is diluted. That's why those who commit to this small ritual often see faster results than those who chase big changes once in a while. This dose is also psychologically powerful. It builds discipline without pressure. You don't feel restricted, starved, or punished. You feel in control. 1 tablespoon becomes a daily promise to your body that you are choosing healing over harm. And when the mind is calm, the body follows with faster fat loss. That is how small actions create massive shifts. But now comes the most important part. The dose alone is not the magic. The real magic lies in what you place inside that tablespoon. Because not every oil, not every liquid, and not every healthy ingredient NT carries the power to target visceral fat. Some nourish, some inflame, some silently slow your progress. If you choose the wrong one, that spoon becomes useless. If you choose the right one, it becomes a metabolic weapon. And the ingredient that holds this power is far more powerful than most people realize. That powerful ingredient is extra virgin olive oil, and its strength comes from the fact that it works with your biology, not against it. Unlike refined oils that are stripped, heated, and chemically altered, extra virgin olive oil is alive with polyphenols, antioxidants, and healthy monounsaturated fats that communicate directly with your cells. These compounds calm internal inflammation, and inflammation is one of the main reasons visceral fat refuses to leave. When inflammation stays high, your body feels under attack and stores fat for protection. But when extra virgin olive oil enters the system, it acts like a soothing signal, telling your body that it is safe to release stored fat. It improves insulin sensitivity, meaning your cells can use sugar for energy instead of converting it into belly fat. This alone makes a massive difference for anyone struggling with stubborn stomach fat. It also supports your liver, which is the main organ responsible for fat metabolism. A sluggish liver slows fat burning, but olive oil gently stimulates bile production, helping your body break down fats more efficiently and remove toxins that block weight loss. What makes it even more powerful is its effect on hormones. Visceral fat is closely linked to hormonal imbalance, especially cortisol and insulin. Extra virgin olive oil helps stabilize both. Lower cortisol means less stress fat. Better insulin control means less sugar turning into fat. Over time, your belly stops being a storage unit and starts becoming a fat-burning zone. This oil also feeds beneficial gut bacteria, and a healthy gut is directly connected to a flatter stomach, reduced bloating, and better digestion. Many people notice their stomach feels lighter and less swollen within days, even before visible fat loss appears. That is because the internal inflammation is calming down and water retention is reducing. But here is the light warning that changes everything. Not all olive oils are the same. Many bottles on store shelves are refined, mixed with cheaper oils, or heated to the point where their healing compounds are destroyed. If the oil is not truly extra virgin, cold pressed, and high quality, it will not deliver these benefits. In fact, low quality oils can increase inflammation and slow your progress. The very spoon meant to heal can silently harm if the source is wrong. That is why your results depend not just on using olive oil, but on using the right kind of olive oil. It should have a slightly peppery taste, a fresh aroma, and be stored in a dark bottle to protect its nutrients. When used correctly, this oil becomes a daily medicine for your metabolism. It does not force fat loss. It creates an environment where fat loss happens naturally. Your digestion improves, your cravings soften, your energy becomes stable, and your belly gradually begins to shrink from the inside out. But even the most powerful ingredient needs the right delivery method. Timing, pairing, and consistency determine how deeply it penetrates your system. Taken carelessly, its effect weakens. Taken strategically, it transforms your body. And this is where most people make a silent mistake, because knowing what to take is only half the battle. How and when you take it decides whether your stomach flattens faster or whether progress stays slow and uncertain. One of the most fascinating effects of this daily tablespoon is how quickly it begins to change the way your stomach feels, even before dramatic fat loss becomes visible. A flatter stomach is not only about burning fat, it is also about reducing internal inflammation, improving digestion, and calming the gut. When extra virgin olive oil enters your system, it coats and soothes the digestive tract, helping food move smoothly and preventing the buildup of gas and waste that causes bloating. Many people carry a swollen belly not because of fat alone, but because their digestion is slow, irritated, and overloaded. Olive oil gently stimulates bile production, which helps break down fats and improves nutrient absorption. This means less heaviness after meals, fewer digestive disturbances, and a stomach that no longer feels tight or stretched by the end of the day. As digestion becomes more efficient, the body stops sending emergency signals to store fat, and the abdomen starts to look calmer and more relaxed. Another powerful reason your stomach flattens is its effect on water retention. Visceral fat is closely connected to inflammation, and inflammation causes the body to hold excess fluid in the abdominal area. Extra virgin olive oil reduces inflammatory markers, allowing your body to release that trapped water. This is why many people notice their waistline shrinking slightly within the first week. It is not illusion, it is the internal swelling settling down. The stomach becomes softer, lighter, and less puffy. When inflammation decreases, your organs function better, and your body stops treating your abdomen as a danger zone that needs protection. Instead, it begins to see it as a safe space where fat can be released. Olive oil also balances the gut microbiome, feeding beneficial bacteria that regulate appetite, metabolism, and fat storage. A healthy gut sends the right signals to your brain, reducing cravings and emotional eating. This alone can prevent the cycle of overeating that keeps the stomach round and stubborn. Over time, as your gut becomes stronger, your belly becomes flatter, not just from fat loss, but from improved internal harmony. You feel less pressure, less heaviness, and more comfort in your own body. The stomach starts to look naturally toned instead of inflamed and stressed. But here is a light warning that cannot be ignored. If digestion is weak, and you take this oil at the wrong time or in the wrong way, you may experience temporary heaviness or nausea. This does not mean the oil is harmful. It means your timing or pairing needs adjustment. The stomach is sensitive, and how you introduce powerful natural fats determines whether they heal or burden. Used correctly, this tablespoon becomes a digestive ally that sculpts your belly from within. Used carelessly, its benefits become slower and less noticeable. That is why knowing what you take is only part of the transformation. Knowing how and when to take it decides how fast your stomach flattens and how smoothly your body adapts. A small shift in timing can double the results, while a careless routine can quietly delay them. And this is exactly where the real strategy begins, because the moment you take that spoon, can determine whether your body burns fat or simply processes it like any other calorie. The moment you take that tablespoon matters more than most people realize, because your body is hormonally different at different times of the day. In the morning, your metabolism is like a dry sponge, ready to absorb and respond. Taking extra virgin olive oil on an empty stomach allows its compounds to enter the bloodstream quickly, stimulating digestion, awakening the liver, and setting a fat-burning tone for the entire day. It helps stabilize blood sugar early, which prevents sudden hunger, energy crashes, and midday cravings that usually lead to overeating. Many people notice they feel lighter, more alert, and less bloated when they make this a morning ritual. It becomes a signal to the body that nourishment is coming, not stress. And this feeling of safety is what allows fat to be released instead of stored. For others, nighttime works better. Before sleep, your body shifts into repair mode. Taking that tablespoon in the evening supports liver detoxification and fat metabolism while you rest. During sleep, your hormones reset and fat breakdown becomes more active. Olive oil helps this process by calming inflammation and supporting bile flow, allowing stored fat to be processed more efficiently overnight. People who struggle with late-night cravings or slow digestion often find this timing especially powerful. They wake up feeling less heavy and more comfortable in their stomach, as if their body has quietly cleaned house while they slept. Some choose to enhance the effect by adding a few drops of lemon juice. This combination stimulates digestion even more, supports liver cleansing, and sharpens the fat-burning response. Others mix it with a little warm water to make it gentler on the stomach. The method is flexible, but the intention must remain the same: calm, consistent, and respectful to your body. Rushing it, skipping days, or changing routines too often weakens the metabolic message you are trying to send. Your body thrives on rhythm. When it senses reliability, it responds with cooperation. But here comes a light warning that protects your progress. Taking this oil right after heavy meals, especially meals high in sugar or refined carbs, can reduce its effectiveness. Instead of activating fat burning, it may simply get processed as extra calories. Timing it when your stomach is relatively empty allows its healing compounds to work on inflammation, insulin sensitivity, and digestion before being mixed with food digestion. Another mistake is taking more than 1 tablespoon thinking it will speed results. Too much can burden the liver and digestive system, causing discomfort and slowing the very process you are trying to improve. More is not faster. Precision is faster. This daily spoon is not meant to fight your body, it is meant to cooperate with it. When taken with patience and intention, it becomes a quiet ritual that strengthens your metabolism without force. You begin to trust your hunger cues more. Your stomach feels calmer, your cravings soften, and fat loss becomes a side effect of internal balance rather than a desperate struggle. Yet even perfect timing cannot protect you if your daily diet is silently working against you. Certain foods act like fuel for visceral fat, undoing the healing work of this tablespoon. They create inflammation, spike insulin, and push your body back into storage mode. If they remain unchecked, your progress will be slower and your results weaker. And that brings us to the final piece. Most people ignore the everyday habits that can either multiply the power of this spoon or quietly cancel it out. What you eat around this ritual can either accelerate your transformation or silently sabotage it. Because visceral fat is extremely sensitive to sugar, refined carbohydrates, and damaged cooking oils. Every time you consume white bread, pastries, soda, packaged juices, or deep-fried foods, your blood sugar spikes and insulin surges, telling your body to store fat, especially in the abdominal area. This completely contradicts the healing signal you send with your daily tablespoon. It becomes a tug of war inside your body, one hand trying to burn fat, the other forcing it to be stored. Processed vegetable oils like soybean, corn, and sunflower oil are especially dangerous because they increase inflammation, which is the exact environment visceral fat thrives in. Even if your calories are low, these oils can keep your belly stubborn and swollen because they disturb hormones and slow metabolism. Your stomach doesn't just respond to how much you eat, it responds to what kind of chemical messages your food sends. Refined sugar is another silent enemy. It feeds visceral fat directly by overworking insulin and exhausting your pancreas. The more often your blood sugar spikes, the more your body learns to store energy instead of releasing it. That is why many people feel stuck despite eating less. Their food is constantly telling their body to protect and store. When you replace sugar with natural foods like fruits, vegetables, whole grains, and proteins, your metabolism feels safer and more balanced. The spoon of olive oil works faster in a clean environment. Think of it like planting a seed. In fertile soil, it grows rapidly. In toxic soil, it struggles. Portion size also plays a quiet but powerful role. Overeating, even healthy food, keeps your digestive system overloaded and your insulin elevated. A slightly lighter dinner, slower eating, and proper hydration make your body more receptive to fat burning. When digestion is calm, the stomach relaxes. When digestion is chaotic, the stomach inflames and stores fat. Small habits such as chewing well, avoiding late-night sugar, and reducing fried food create space for your body to heal. These are not punishments. They are permissions for your metabolism to finally work properly. Here is the light warning most people ignore. One unhealthy habit repeated daily is stronger than one healthy habit repeated daily. If sugary tea, biscuits, fried snacks, or processed meals remain a routine, your tablespoon has to fight too hard. It still helps, but it cannot reach its full potential. Progress becomes slow, subtle, and sometimes discouraging. But when you clean just a few of these habits, results multiply naturally. Your belly softens faster, your waist tightens sooner, your energy feels lighter. This is where everything comes together. The spoon is powerful, the timing is strategic, the ingredient is healing, but your lifestyle decides whether the change is temporary or permanent. When your environment supports fat burning, your body responds with gratitude and speed. And once that shift happens, the transformation is no longer about losing fat alone. It becomes about reclaiming health, confidence, and control over your body. That is the moment when you stop chasing results and start living them. And that is exactly what the final payoff reveals. Imagine waking up one morning, touching your stomach, and feeling it flatter, lighter, calmer, no tight bloating, no heavy pressure, no stubborn puffiness, just a body that finally feels like it's working with you, not against you. That is the power of 1 tablespoon done consistently. Not magic, not hype, just metabolic science working in your favor. Visceral fat is dangerous because it's invisible and silent. But now you have a simple weapon against it. Every time you take that spoon of extra virgin olive oil, you are sending a message to your body: I choose healing, I choose balance, I choose fat loss where it matters most. This single habit supports your liver, controls blood sugar, calms inflammation, boosts digestion, and unlocks stored fat. Over weeks, your waistline shrinks. Over months, your health markers improve. Energy rises, cravings drop, confidence returns. Most people wait for motivation. Winners create rituals. Your ritual is 1 tablespoon, 1 decision, 1 powerful daily reset. You don't need extreme workouts. You don't need starvation. You don't need expensive fat burners. You need consistency and belief in small actions done daily. Because flattening your stomach is not just about looks. It's about protecting your heart, your liver, your hormones, your future. Start today. Take your spoon. Make it sacred. And let your body do what it was always designed to do: heal, burn fat, and thrive naturally.